Show up black. That's right. I said it and I ain't taking it back. Let me repeat it. How about in this day and time that we find ourselves in, that we show up black? How about that? Showing up black. That's what we're talking about on this morning. Good morning, everybody. How is everything with you on this morning? So thankful and grateful that you are a part of my day. I'm a part of your day. And I got a word for you on this morning, and it's all about showing up black. Showing up black. Yesterday, I ministered a word, and we started out a whole new sermon series and kind of encapsulated. It's not intended to deal with the political divide, but I had to put it in context. And I was talking about how the woman, the widow who showed up at the temple while Jesus was watching, he watched the disparity of her giving and between and the rich people giving, and at the temple in which nothing was said or done. So Jesus made a comment that she showed up with more than anybody else. She showed up with more than anybody else. The math of Christ. How about that? I'm going to greet some folk in this morning, and then we're going to get right into this morning's manna. Showing up black, the text, to talk, the takeaway, 5 minutes or less. How about that? Let's get with it on this morning. Good morning, Lenora. How are you? Linda, how are you on this morning? Ramona, how are you on this morning? Thank you for serving, Ramona. Good morning, Arlene. How are you on this morning? Ari, how are you? Vicky, how are you? Joseph, Deacon. I almost called him Deacon. He's security. I was thinking of Joe, who should be on here as well. But Brother Nesbitt, you're missed. You're missed. I hope you and the wife are doing well, coming along fine. Good morning, Elder Jan. How are you? Gerald, how are you? Vaughn, how are you? Laura, how are you? Brenda, how are you? Where is your sister? Good morning. Pamela, how are you? Lydia, how are you? Dawn, how are you on this morning? Brother Pope, how are you doing this morning? Verena, how are you? John, how are you? Patrick, Patricia, Patrice, I'll get it right. I'm sorry. I'll get it right. Tongue twisted this morning. How are you on this morning? Annette, how are you this morning? Look, I need you all to do this, Valerie. I need you to share the manna right now. Don't wait. Got a word for you on this morning. You already know it. Showing up black. What does that mean? What does that mean in where we are in this time? Showing up black. How about that? Good morning, Pastor Leo. How are you? Cynthia, how are you? Ann, how are you? We are making it on this morning. That's right, Patrice. We are making it on this morning. There is Carolyn. There you go. Showing up now. Pasha, how are you on this morning? Look, this morning it's all about showing up black. Showing up black. Let me give you a little bit of a context. I have still not gotten that whole message out of my spirit about that we are dealing with now kingdom econ or kingdom economy and then look at our finances, God's blueprint for our finances in these very turbulent, unstable times. What do we do about that? Well, let's press it in and let's lean into that. And irregardless of what you're dealing with right now, you got to show up black. How about that? Let's get right to it. Here's the text. 1 Peter 2:9, the New King James Version. But you are a chosen generation. Come on here. A royal priesthood, a holy nation, his own special people, that you may proclaim the praises of him who called you out of darkness of enslavement, out of darkness of racism, out of darkness into his marvelous light. You got that? Let's talk a little bit about it, and then we're going to give you three things, and we're out. In times like these, showing up black unapologetically, authentically, and boldly feels like an act of resistance. I don't know about you, but it really does. With this attacks on diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, intensifying, the presence or the pressure, I should say, to shrink back, assimilate, or just quiet down is very real. They're rolling back all kind of policies designed to level the playing field, whitewashing history, and even weaponizing terms like equity to justify exclusion. Doing a flip of the script. There's nothing new with that. We heard those things in the Reagan era of a colorblind society. It's just been intensified. Some of our own people, can I say that one more time? When I look at how on 2 Fridays ago, Black History Month was ended at the White House, I just could not believe what I saw. We saw some Oreos. This is thin. There are some double stuff. There was some double stuff and thin there. And Uncle Tom's and Aunt Thomasina's there that align themselves thinking that it's going to be all right. The enemy wants you to be silent. Listen, the system wants you invisible, but God has called you to show up, to walk in your divine identity, to stand in the full weight of who you are. God does not ask any of us, white, black, yellow, red. It does not matter. Brown, it doesn't matter. He does not ask you to show up in any other color than the one he gave you and the authenticity of yourself. Listen, our history is filled with those who refuse to bow to oppression. Come here, Harriet, and talk to us. Malcolm, talk to us. Fannie Lou Hamer, talk to us. Martin Luther King Jr., talk to us. They were told to be quiet, but they did not stay in their place. They knew playing it small is not the win game. You're not going to win that way. So I just want to share with you, there are sellouts. There are those who are traitors. There are those who have given up their dignity in the face of oppression. Your assignment and my assignment, God called you to be a light, not to blend into the darkness, though you are dark. Let me say that one more time. That's the first thing. God called you to be the light in darkness, though you are dark, and then you blend into the darkness. The world may try to erase you, but your identity is divinely ordained. You're a royal priesthood. Your presence, second thing, your presence is power. Every time you show up in your full self, you shift the atmosphere. Let me say that again. Every time you show up in your full self, don't shrink back. You shift the atmosphere. Here's the third thing I want you to grab a hold of. Fear is not our inheritance. We come from a people who survived the Middle Passage, thrived, and overcame. From the race riots and massacres during the early 1900s, we're still here. The same God who brought us through slavery, Jim Crow, civil rights, is the same God who's going to sustain us now. Show up. Show up. Show up. So what's your takeaway? Don't let fear, politics, or sellouts make you shrink. Show up in your full self. And that's the only way that you can bring glory to God, because that's how he created you. Red, yellow, black, or white, brown, we're all precious in his sight. Show up to how he made you. Show up, black. The Lord be with you today. May his face shine upon you and give you peace. I want you to join me on Wednesday, on Lent Wednesday, when we start Lent and we start a 40-day fast, and Target is the target, and other things that we'll share on that night. I'll see you then. See you in the morning. God bless you. Bye now.